I think a lot of content creation too is figuring out like what seems to resonate with people and like where you think you can really help and make a difference and kind of reiterating those same topics like over and over and over again.
Welcome back to another episode of the Med Creator 101 podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dustin Portella, joined as always by my co-host, Mimi Banks, founder of MD Social.
Today we have a special guest with us, Dr. Neera Nathan, a double board certified dermatologist and Mohs surgeon, trained at the Harvard Combined Dermatology Residency Program. After her residency, she stayed on as faculty at Mass General Hospital and later completing a Mohs fellowship at Leahy Clinic, where she continues to teach. Dr. Nathan blends surgical expertise, laser innovation, and a passion for education, and she's taken that mission online to literally reach millions with honest, evidence-based conversations about skin cancer awareness, scars, and sun protection. Welcome, Dr. Nathan.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Can I call you Neera?
Yeah, sure.
So we always like to start each episode with some personal questions, rapid fire style. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Caffeine or decaf?
Caffeine.
Coffee before clinic or after hours?
So I don't do coffee, I do tea. But I'm like addicted to tea, caffeinated tea, all day, every day. Now I have a baby, all night too.
All hours.
There's worse things to be addicted to, but yeah, all hours.
So not a coffee drinker ever?
No, not a coffee drinker. I love an espresso martini, but never really liked the taste of coffee. And I like coffee ice cream, just not coffee as a drink. Always a tea drinker.
I used to be a tea drinker, and then I think around age 40, I discovered coffee.
Okay. Okay.
Literally.
Well, I don't have much time, but little time for me yet. So.
Most used emoji.
Okay, I really like true millennial. I like the kissy face. I like the hearts. I use the prayer sign a lot now. I think that's a Dr. B thing. And then what else do I use? Thumbs up.
Dustin?
Yeah, pretty darn close to the same ones. Not a lot of the prayer emoji, but all the others definitely.
I always find myself also doing the shrugging emoji. That's a good one too, I find.
Okay, I haven't used that one.
Minimalist or maximalist?
Minimalist these days. I just want less and less things. After my husband and I got together, we were like in a small apartment. I'm like, where did all this stuff come from? And now we have a baby and we've accumulated stuff and it's like there is stuff everywhere. So I feel like less is more. It's very different than how I used to be. It's definitely a maximalist, but now like bare minimum. We just need what we absolutely need.
I'm sure you've already found once you have a baby, the amount of stuff that you have to have, it like doubles the things that you have.
Like quadruple.
It's crazy.
Is this your first baby?
Yeah.
Me too. And I found that you have all of this stuff and you think that you need all of this stuff.
Right.
And then you realize that she doesn't use like a quarter of it.
Yeah. So I like I'm a sucker for everything on the internet that says it'll like enrich your baby's brain. So there's like a fancy like subscription app and there's like a toy where like you like spend like $40 on a tissue box where your baby can like pull out fake tissue.
Oh, we have it.
You have it. So right, but it's like literally
this is Love Every.
I know, I don't want to call him out.
Sorry, Love Every. This is a plug.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's just like, if you really look at it, you're like, okay, it's a tissue box.
But I will say they grow into all of that. The playmat is great, and they grow into all of those different toys. Some of them she still uses, but then we're very quick to get rid.
Yeah. Playmat's like godsend. That's like the one time Maya can really do like her independent time. So that's great.
There's a lot of stuff that comes from that. Every month it starts coming and coming. So that begs a question, scrubs or street style?
Scrubs. I live in scrubs. I've had this turtleneck probably for 10 years. I mean, there's like now, again, minimalist, scrubs, zip up hoodies. That's all I wear. And then like a couple things, for derm conferences and things like this. But yeah, scrubs all the way.
Hashtag mom life.
Yeah. I was like that before though, and I don't think I really had an excuse. I could have done more, but just like easy.
Mm-hmm. Then I would wonder about this, red lip or fresh face?
I think a red lip is beautiful. I think I've probably pulled it off once in my life. Fresh face. I have my makeup on today, but usually I don't record with makeup. I don't wear makeup to work or makeup really, period, anymore. Not really my thing.
When I was in New York all day, every day, so much makeup, red lip, and now I'm back to minimal, hashtag still mom life.
I'm team fresh face, just in case you were wondering, yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask, Though rocks a wig every once in a while, if you ask him.
Every once in a while.
I've seen that. You wear it well.
Does wear it well. Early riser or night owl?
Pre-baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say a little bit of everything, right? Like a 24/7 out. I would say traditionally and now, I mean, still early riser. I think now the baby forces me to be an early riser, but as far as productivity, like I've never have been able to get anything done in my life after 7 p.m. in med school. I don't think I pulled a single all-nighter actually in my life. I would go to bed 9. I would wake up at like 4 in the morning and then I would study. I would like cram. That was always my MO. And it works. I felt like mine was really fresh. So if I do need to get something done before clinic, really anytime, like my best time is truly like early morning and now like super early morning before the baby wakes up, like super early, like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Dustin, I think you're an early riser too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of have to be just going through medical training and everything, but I prefer to be a night owl.
I used to be pre-baby. Like I would do my best thinking, I would cram, I would do all of my work, and now it's just not even possible. So I've become by virtue of life. So let's talk about you. Let's get to you and your content. I love your content and the incredible platform that you've built, but your original goal was to teach full time, not dermfluencing.
So, it was really interesting time. Dustin, I think you can relate. In medical training, it's like go, 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 go nonstop. No summers off, right? I mean, you're constantly working or hustling or trying to get to the next step. And then I finished Mohs fellowship and I like had this chunk of time. And I think in my brain, I was like, oh, I'm going to travel and like do all these things. So I took a couple months off between my Mohs fellowship and when I was going to be credentialed for my job. And I had grand plans, but it was like around COVID time. And, my husband had just started his full-time job. So he didn't really want to take time off. So I had time to study for boards. I think I studied for boards, but other than that, it's just like a massive amount of time on my hands. And I think in parallel, I really wanted a full-time academic Mohs job. Like I just love to teach surgery. I mean, truly nothing makes me happier. Hard to come by, especially in the Boston area. At that point, we were kind of tied down to Boston. I didn't get one. So it was kind of like almost a perfect storm for social media. Like I had the time. I had colleagues, also like Mohs colleagues who were already on social media. And I was like, well, this is really interesting. This is a way to teach that's kind of non-traditional. I don't really know much about it, but maybe it's like I have the time to do it. Maybe it's something I'll try. And that's how it all started.
And what was your first post?
Yeah. So I don't know if this is the first or the second because there's two and one is so cringe. I'm trying to do a TikTok trend. It was horrible. It was on dark circles. And because I had really bad dark circles, I'd use Latisse and then just kind of like some genetic hyperpigmentation, South Asian descent. I did a video on like how to improve dark circles and kind of what I had done. It was like your traditional, like the first time you film, like I had a 10-second millennial pause. Like I look back in the video, it's like I would have cut it so differently. It probably was like a 2-minute video that could have been 15 seconds. But like, yeah, I mean, I think it got like, I don't know, like 1,000 views on TikTok, which I was like really happy about. It's funny because I like still post about dark circles. I still make that same content just in a way that I think is probably a little bit more engaging.
So you started on TikTok and then went to Instagram, or did you do both?
I actually never had a personal Instagram ever. So like my first time on Instagram was like my professional account. So it was like really new to me. Like I had a Facebook years ago, but then I also had deleted my Facebook. So I really wasn't on any social media personally for years. And then I started TikTok specifically. I made the account and I think I posted maybe a couple days later. I was on TikTok, I think for the first maybe 3 or 4 months. This was like in late 2023. And then I started cross-posting just the same videos, I think in January or February of 2024 on Instagram. And I think I had started on TikTok also because in talking to other people in the field, everyone's like, TikTok's really a good place for growth. It's really challenging, like to kind of break into Instagram. Like if you truly want to build and to grow, like why don't you try TikTok first? But I think it was really an interesting time for both. Instagram was really pushing Reels at the time. I had maybe 60 videos that I had posted over 90 days, maybe on TikTok, and I kind of posted them, over a period of a couple weeks on Instagram.
And what was your goal in the beginning? So you had time, which you didn't know was even possible. Were you thinking about it in terms of, you mentioned education because that's what you're passionate about. Were you looking to educate people?
I mean, I think a combination of things. I think education. I think also like battling misinformation. I knew there were a lot of derms already, but like you just hear your friends say the craziest things. Like, oh my gosh, I saw on TikTok that like we can contour with sunscreen. It's like, what? What do you mean you can contour with sunscreen? I mean, like, people putting all sorts of crazy things. It just seemed like there is room for another person, someone who's trained. I hope this is how I come across, someone who gets good information out there. And I honestly think the misinformation and like the war on expertise is like even worse now than it was.
I mean, it's insane. We call it like TikTok University because some of these just the viral misinformation just spreads like rapid fire. Even the contouring becomes a thing. You're like, oh, that's interesting. But wait, no, you really actually shouldn't do that. So, like when you're creating content or speaking to the camera, who do you envision that you're speaking to?
I really try and talk to someone like I would like my friend asking about skincare advice or my friend asking like, oh my gosh, you lost a lot of hair a couple of years ago. Like, what did you do? Right? Like, that's really how I try and present my content. I use fewer curse words on social media than I would in real life, if you know me.
This is the safe for work version.
Yeah. So I think that's probably the big difference. That's how I try and come across. I think it is always a little awkward. It's still awkward for me to record. There's just something not natural about having a camera in front of your face. I really wasn't a person to take like lots of photos and like chronicle my life on social media. That really wasn't my thing. So it still doesn't come completely naturally to me, but that's at least my goal.
So you got into it for the education, to battle misinformation. Was it ever on your radar in those early days that like part of this will become being an influencer of some sorts, or was that not part of the goal whatsoever?
The word influencer is still weird to me. And I know that there are now a group of dermatologists that are considered quote unquote influencers. I mean, I really think we're just dermatologists with a platform, and we've been blessed with a platform, and we do our best, I think all of us, to use it in the best way as possible. I don't think I ever dreamed of some of the opportunities that I think have come my way. I will say another motivation, a third motivation to start social media, I was consulting for a brand. I had done a good amount of that after residency. I did a lot of research in my early attending years. I was running clinical trials and I published a decent amount. So a lot of people reached out to me to consult, but there was always kind of a push from the brands I was consulting for, like, oh, like you should be on social. I'm like, no, that's not what I do, And they're like, well, like it's kind of like we really want someone who's also on social, and like you should put yourself out there, and like I think you'd be great. And I think in some ways it was like a little frustrating to me. It's like, I worked my behind off to get like this really good training, and I'm running clinical trials at a major academic institution. I'm teaching, I'm doing all this, but to some extent, the landscape is changing and there were these really cool opportunities. But, I think it was really hard also to stay off social media and to continue to work with hair care brands and skincare brands. That was a really interesting part of what I was doing at the time, and I really enjoyed that. But again, I don't think I imagined that I would be able to grow and build a platform at all.
And for context, just for everybody listening / watching, you have almost 1.5 million followers on Instagram and almost 700,000 followers on TikTok. That's really not insignificant. Was there like an inflection point when you started to see the growth? Because a lot of times, Dustin and I talk about this, that it's the long game, that you're not going to necessarily see growth immediately, that just to kind of keep starting and keep going and putting out content. Was this your experience? Did you have surges? What was your growth like?
Yeah. So I think on TikTok, I think I probably posted a handful of videos. I mean, sometimes I was posting more than once a day, certainly every day for probably 6 weeks until I had one video that went viral that was also coincidentally about dark circles. And that one video got like 15 million views. From that point on, I like kind of slowly, steadily started to grow on TikTok. So I really do think all it takes is one video. On Instagram, I think at first, again, like I probably posted the first maybe 10 or 15 videos cross-posted from TikTok, and like nothing really kind of gained traction. But then I don't even remember what video it was. But then as I kept posting, I think the videos were getting a lot of views. I went from 0 followers on Instagram to 1 million followers in about 8 months. So it was a very quick trajectory. I mean, all through Reels, And I think a lot of it was luck because I think it was just a time when reels were really being pushed out.
Yeah, it was really a meteoric rise. I remember watching and just being super happy for you to see that kind of growth and attributing some of that to luck. I mean, certainly they were pushing out reels, but your content, it was really great. And the authenticity that you bring to it, that feel that you're just talking to a friend, I think is what really, really makes the content very approachable and makes people want to follow.
It's luck, but like a lot of skill. I think that people consume content, and that was something that appealed to the masses. We'd like to spend some time just talking about your content. What inspires your content and your process?
I think a lot of the early content, like I have to shout out Dr. Waldman. She's a Mohs surgeon at Brigham and Women's Hospital. She was one of my mentors in residency, one of my husband's mentors in residency. She helped us both get Mohs fellowship. So we owe her a lot. And she actually was on social media, I think a couple months before I started. And if she never would have had a social media platform, I probably wouldn't have either because she was an academic Mohs surgeon who I respected a ton, who also had a Harvard Medical School appointment and was creating great content. So I think I was definitely inspired by her and her content style. Dr. Afton Cobb, who's also a good friend, she was a Mohs fellow at my program and was also like making super fun content, and another person I just really respected. And they were both making really great content. And I reached out to, I think, both of them, I think early on in content creation. And then I think as time went on, I really didn't know Dr. Zabritsky, Dr. Liu, you, Dr. Portella, but you guys were like all the OGs and you were out there making great content. So you all have like very seriously inspired, I think, my content creation journey. I mean, there really would be like no dermatology influencing without like the first dermatologist to do that. So I look up to a lot of people in the field for various reasons. So I think a lot of that informed my style. And then I think as far as like process, I think something that's been really fun to do are stitches. And I think a lot of us are doing stitches. I mean, to some extent, that content kind of writes itself because you either have something that's so crazy and ridiculous that like you have to comment on it, do not do this, or like a common misconception or something people are really curious about, like retinoids is like a great example. There's a lot of misinformation about retinoids. A lot of people don't know how to use them. A lot of people don't know the difference between them. And like that is like 10 videos right there.
Yeah. When it comes to the ideation, obviously, if you find something you want to stitch, the idea is kind of written for you. As far as some of your other content, do you keep a notepad on your phone or where do you spend time ideating to say, I want to make a video about this?
It's really hard. I mean, I've tried kind of like jotting down things on my phone when I get ideas, and sometimes that is helpful. I think I kind of do a lot of the same themes that people seem to resonate with over and over again. Like I remember there was a trend of unsexy products maybe like a year and a half ago. And like no one was really doing it in the derm space. And I was like, oh, this is like super fun because I feel like everything we use in dermatology is unsexy, right? Nothing sexy about Accutane, right? But it's a great medicine. So I feel like there's so much there. And I probably made 30 videos about that. And those are really fun. And it feels really authentic to me because I really think that a lot of times aesthetic skincare is not really the way to go. So I think a lot of content creation too is figuring out like what seems to resonate with people and like where you think you can really help and make a difference and kind of reiterating those same topics like over and over and over again. I mean, I've probably talked about silicone sheets for scars like 100 times, but even still people are like, oh, do you mean bed sheets? Like silicone bed sheets? I'm like, oh, no, no, no. I don't.
Wait, that's amazing.
I'm not even aware of silicone bed sheets. It feels
Silicone gel sheeting. I think I made it was like you should like wear silicone sheets at night, which is my fault because it's not very clear that I don't mean like, snuggle up in
Snuggle up in your silicone.
sheets made of silicone.
Yeah, I think that's an important point for the audience is that you can take the same concept and remake it in a dozen different ways, and it's going to resonate with people in different formats. So just because you've talked about something in the past, only a small percentage of your followers have seen that video. You can certainly revisit topics, put a different twist on it. It's going to hit, in different audiences and really get your message out there in creative ways. So I think that's very, very important to take away. When it comes to the recording process, just to kind of get down to the actual process of it, the procedure, like what are you filming on? What are you editing on? Do you do most of your filming and editing inside the TikTok app? Or are you doing it in another app? How do you approach that?
Yeah, so I'm doing it all in TikTok, which made it very challenging when the TikTok shutdown happened.
Oh, wow. Right.
I was like, how am I going to do this? I film in TikTok, I edit in TikTok, and then I cross post to Instagram and YouTube Shorts. I mean, I just started cross posting to YouTube Shorts a couple months ago. I feel like that's like a really, like, I think to anyone who is interested in content creation, like, it's one video. You should really maximize the use out of that one video and cross post as much as possible because there are really different audiences on these different platforms.
Yeah. And they all have their own monetization and different opportunities that will come from that.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of been interesting to see how content resonates on YouTube versus TikTok and Instagram. And I think it is very different. I think the demographics are different.
Yeah. And listen to your audience and get that feedback.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, all TikTok.
That's so interesting. I have a question. I started recently hearing about the Black Magic Camera app. Have you heard about this, either of you, Dustin?
I've downloaded it before because the microphone that I use can pair with that app. I found it just more complicated. It does more than I need it to do, and I'd rather something simple. And again, I think it's that idea that the tool in particular does not make the creator. And so I don't, if you're not making good content or coming up with good ideas, filming and editing inside one particular app versus another, I don't think is a game changer.
Pure curious. That's actually, I think, really important tool also to know is that take your phone, whatever it may be, and now you use the TikTok app versus using the regular camera. Do you use the camera app, Dustin, to film?
Yeah, I'll use the camera app a lot of times if I'm going to send something to my editor. But if I want to do something quick, it's usually inside either TikTok or right in Instagram. Sometimes I'll use CapCut or the Edits app that Instagram has now provided. Kind of just depends on what I'm trying to do because each one is a little stronger for different things, in my opinion.
Fascinating. Sorry, I derailed us for a second. But when we're looking at the content creation process, do you use like a content calendar? Do you batch create? Do you have certain days of the week that you create? Do you create when you're up late at night in between feedings now?
I wish I could get on here and be like some of my colleagues that have these like beautiful schedules and are batching their content and filming a bunch. It's just, I haven't been able to do it. I really film when I can. I would say I used to spend hours filming and hours editing. I still spend hours editing. The filming process is a little bit quicker for me. So if I have 25 minutes, 20 minutes even, I know I can film a piece of content. I'm not that good. Like I can't do more than that. But I can do a piece.
But that's pretty good for one piece of content, I think. No, like that's great.
Yeah, thank you. So I can do a piece, but editing, it's still taking me a couple hours and I'm doing everything myself. I'm not trying to make myself into a martyr, but like there's no assistant, there's no social media manager, there's no editor. It is all me. So I'm doing what I can, and I'll film. And then I usually, these days I edit while pumping because I'm pumping a lot. There's a lot of my time right now. The baby's asleep and I have one hand. I'll sit. I'm going to get arthritis, but I'll sit and I'll edit, but it's really the editing that I think some of the reason that at least some of my content, in my opinion, is successful is I think the editing style. I spend a lot of time doing it. I think it pays off at least some of the time. There's other times where I like really quick content. I filmed some B-roll at work. By the way, I work at a great private practice now. So I am happy that I'm half academic or part academic and mostly in private practice. But I was filming some B-roll with slides and I just like put some text over it really quick. We were closing our house that day, but I wanted to get a piece of content out. I really didn't edit it, but then it was like one of my most viral pieces of content. So sometimes it's like the no effort, but other times I think with stitches, I've at least convinced myself that like the 3 hours it takes me for a piece of content is worth it.
So what is the approach with editing as you put that kind of time into it? What is your, if there's a trademark style or what is it that you're putting into it that you feel resonates with your audience? How do you approach the editing?
I think really quick cuts. I try and always do captions, step-by-step text overlay. I think my goal is if someone has it on mute, they can still get the entire gist of the video. And I think that is part of what takes so long. And then I'll do a lot of green screen over clips of like myself, like demonstrating application or like putting on minoxidil or putting on tretinoin or using a at-home peel. And it takes a lot of time to kind of put all those pieces together. And sometimes I'm bringing in clips that I already have from CapCut. But I think it is helpful. And I think as far as the style for stitches, I really need to shout out Dr. Zubritsky because I learned to stitch from watching her videos. I mean, she is truly the queen of that. And she has a very also quick, fast paced style. And her content was so engaging. And I learned to move around on the screen from her. I was like, gosh, that's so cool. How does she move around and zoom out?
Oh, yeah, go around her, like her face. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I need to figure out how to do that because she does it so well.
Yeah, it makes it very engaging. Any other tools that you use, like wireless microphones, ring lights, anything that you find an important part?
Yes, you guys saw my epic fail. I do have a wireless microphone. And part of the reason is when I started, I didn't. And people in my comments would be like, get a mic. I'm like, oh, it's my audio.
Are you serious?
I think my audio was awful because I not only did I not have a mic, we're in a townhouse with wood floors. I didn't have a carpet. So I was just like an echo chamber the entire time. This is again, I'm not a person who recording was not something that I had done before. I had no mic. I had no sound absorbers or anything. There was no studio. And I think it just sounded horrible. The fact that anyone listened to my content, thank you. But yes, it was the audience that was saying, get a mic, get a mic. That I finally got a mic and I got a really not great one. And then actually at the Dermfluencer University in Austin last year, that was tacked onto the event conference. Dustin, you were there. And then I think also Lindsay and Jenny.
That was there too.
Oh, you were? Oh, amazing. Amazing. I don't think I'd met you yet, Mimi, but I don't know if it was Jenny who talked about the DJI mic. But then I was like, okay, let me invest in a good mic. And then on one of the event trips, Dr. Casal actually, there was an even better mic he recommended, which I ordered. I still have not used. It's in the box. But yes, I've learned a ton from my colleagues as far as audio. And I think overall it's probably made my videos better.
And we've talked about that before. People will tolerate video that's not perfect way more than they'll tolerate audio that's not perfect. So getting that audio on point. But, it goes to show your audience was sticking around and they're saying, hey, just make it a little better. Give us a little better audio. We're here for you, though.
I kind of love that. And they've really been on the journey with you. And as you become a mom, a dermatologist, a creator, a brand ambassador, a burning question is, how do you do it all?
Yeah. I mean, again, I wish I could tell you there was some sort of balance. There's no balance. It's all chaos. I try to do my best. I'm a Mohs surgeon. Anytime I'm at work, I try to take the best care of patients I can. And then I'm spending time with my daughter and literally any other free time I have, I'm creating content or editing. There's nothing else happening right now. I'm not going out to dinner with friends, I'm not traveling the world. I've been trying to make it out to Pilates once a week, but I think that content creation is a lot. I assume I'm speaking for other content creators when I say work-life balance with content creation is very hard because I think right now I have my job as a mom, my job as a Mohs surgeon, and my quote unquote life, the hobbies, the fun, all of that together is all content creation. I really do not do anything else. So I don't want to get on here and deceive people and say I'm this super mom and super surgeon and I do all these things. It would be a lie.
I think that's actually part of what makes you you and the value that you offer is being so real. How are you handling or what do you think about content with now being a mom? I know personally, once I became a mom, what interests me personally and even professionally naturally changed. Is your content changed? Are you leaning more into mom content or baby recos?
Yeah, the baby reco's not yet again because I'm consuming all that.
Right.
I need other people to tell me what to do, please. I mean, honestly, same with being a mom because I truly don't know what I'm doing. I've tried to bring my audience along the journey. So for instance, I was pregnant. I was I really wanted to prevent stretch marks. So I was doing a bunch of things that based on some papers I had read, also just anecdote from treating my own patients, a lot of research I've done on scars, which I think actually act very similar to stretch marks and trying to figure out what could be done. And so I did a lot of kind of bump care and kind of stretch mark content. And then now that I've had my baby, I'm 4 months in, the hair's all gone. So I'm doing a lot of postpartum content and what to do to hold on to it, to try to get it back. I feel little pieces that I think just feel like these are things I actually am going through and I'm a dermatologist. But when it comes to myself, sometimes I feel like I can't always think straight. So I think a lot of the content also is just my own like kind of anecdote and authentic journey rather than me speaking directly to you as a dermatologist and an expert. I'm speaking as a human, like a person in their third trimester of pregnancy and a newly postpartum mom.
I think people appreciate that a lot because being a first-time mom is scary. It's new. It's all of the things you're consuming, you're learning, you're trying to figure out how to keep this little human alive. And so it's so relatable to so many people that people appreciate the person that has millions of followers is just like us. So speaking as a fellow mom and someone who is a consumer of content who was looking towards all those other moms for their hacks, and so I could decide whether I wanted them or not, that it's very much appreciated.
Neera, what's next on social media for you? Any goals, dream partnerships, things that you'd like to see happen as you look over the next 2-3 years of your social media career?
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. I am just really grateful that there are people that listen to me and enjoy my content and can learn something from it. I think that's some of the best moments have been just the random DMs where someone's like, oh my gosh, like you made a video about like a sore that didn't heal or a pimple that didn't heal. And I went to go check it out. And it was a basal cell carcinoma. Or, someone who's like, I could not, like I had a scar and it was bothering me so much, but, I put sunscreen on it and I used silicone gel sheeting. And now 6 months later, it's faded. Like, thank you so much. I think those are the moments that really like keep you going. I think partnerships have been so fun and amazing and have brought me to people like you. I've met so many colleagues, which has been some of the best part of the job, is just meeting new dermatologists you would otherwise not normally meet through other circles if you didn't train with them in residency or, you have different interests or you're in different parts of the country. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's next, but I'm open and grateful for anything that will come another day on social media.
I think that's really key because what you just said is the goal that you started social media with to educate, to help, to get that feedback that it is helping people is the same thing that you started with that you're doing now. And maintaining that reason why is why your content continues to be successful. And I think that's a important takeaway for the audience to really understand why you get started with social media, what you want to accomplish, and maintain that value. And it will really shine through in the content.
Well said. Could not agree more.
Well, Neera, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's been insightful for us and for the audience. And where can people find you online if they want to follow?
You can follow me at Dermatology Surgeon on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
Well, we'll certainly have links to all of those in the podcast show notes and on the YouTube video. And we encourage the audience to go check it out because you really do put on a masterclass on how to make really great, engaging content that is very authentic. So I encourage everybody to do that. And thank our audience for tuning in to another episode of the Med Creator 101 podcast. And we encourage you to share this episode with somebody who might benefit from it. Leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast player you happen to be listening on. And shoot us a message on Instagram at MedCreator101. And we look forward to your feedback and we'll catch you on the next episode.